Now, why are we such bad teachers? You know, a lot of relationship arguments can essentially be seen as failed teaching moments. There's something you want to say, and it goes terribly, terribly wrong on the journey to your listener. Why does it go so wrong? Why does the teaching lesson fail so badly? Partly because we don't think it's legitimate to teach. So if someone's telling you your job is not legitimate, you'll be a bit panicked. You're like, oh wow, well, if I'm not supposed to do this, how do I? So you're not relaxed. The other thing, of course, what makes a good teacher is that they're calm, is that they're relaxed. And one of the best ways to be a calm teacher is not to mind too much if your lesson doesn't really get through to the other person. So, you know, a great maths teacher, you know, they're calm in the classroom because there's not that much at stake. Of course they want their pupils to pick up a bit about trigonometry or whatever, but if they don't, and if they flunk their exams, well, there'll be a new lot coming next year. It doesn't really matter. There's not that much at stake. The thing is that in Love's classroom, we are much more tense. We are much more on edge. And the reason is that so much seems to depend on it. And the background of our thoughts is the most terrifying spectre as we're trying to teach. And the terrifying spectre goes like this. I think I've married an idiot. I think I've got to spend the rest of my life with someone who doesn't understand very basic, very important things that matter so much to me, and this person is not listening. And because they're not listening, we're going to ramp up the pressure and the tension, and we're going to start to be rude, and we're going to start to humiliate, and we're going to start to swear. And the terrible problem is that no one has ever managed to teach anyone anything by humiliating them. By the time you are humiliating your partner in order to teach them something, forget it. Bye-bye, the lesson's over. You are never going to get through that way. As we know from HR departments in offices, if you want to teach someone something, it's got to be 99% honey and a tiny, tiny little criticism at the very end. You know, I love this, I love that, I love that. Did you know that thing that... That's maybe how you've got a chance of getting through. But we don't do this. So in Love's classroom, we do not accept that love should be a process of mutual education. We know so much about our partners that no one else ever does. We've got a ringside seat on their charming sides and on their insanities in a way that no one ever will. But because we think it's a betrayal of love, that knowledge can't be shared, used, and grown with, because we are so brittle and defensive. As students of this, we simply fail to accept that the other person, if somebody tries to give us a so-called lecture, we might even use that pejorative term. You know, are you trying to give me a lecture? And, you know, of course, Plato would say, yeah, I'm trying to give you a lecture because I love you. Because I love you, I'm going to give you a lecture, and I hope tomorrow you'll give me a lecture. And that's the way it works. But the romantics are like, oh no, I'm not going to stay with her. She gives me lectures all the time. Oh, I must leave her and let me lecture. And so what happens when Love's classroom has failed? Well, then the couple, things get rather brittle. And rather than trying to teach, the couple descends into a cycle of mutual nagging and shirking.